Greetings to all. A warm welcome to all of you, my dear sisters and brothers, and my dear friends. A warm welcome to a new meditation of the way to love, meditation for our life. This is your Pastor Yadi. Today I'm going to talk about become like children. And the chapter 18 of Matthew, verse 3 says, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." The first quality that strikes one when one looks into the eyes of a child is its innocence. It's lovely inability to lie or wear a mask or pretend to be anything other than what it is. And this child is exactly like the rest of nature. A dog is a dog, a rose, a star, a star. Everything is quite simply what it is. Only the adult human being is able to be one thing and pretend to be another. When grown-ups punish a child for telling the truth, for revealing what it thinks and feels, the child learns to dissemble and its innocence is destroyed. Soon, it will join the ranks of the numberless people who say helplessly, "I do not know who I am." For having hidden the truth about themselves for so long from others, they end up by hiding it from themselves. How much of the innocence of childhood do you still retain? Is there anyone today in whose presence you can be simply and totally yourself, as nakedly open and innocent as a child? There is another more subtle way in which the innocence of child is lost. When the child is infected by the desire to become somebody. Contemplate the crowds of people who are striving might and main to become, not what nature intended them to be. Musicians, cooks, mechanics, carpenters, gardeners, inventors. But somebody to become successful, famous, powerful, to become something that will bring not quite self-fulfillment, but self-glorification, self-expansion. You are looking at people who have lost their innocence because they have chosen not to be themselves, but to promote themselves, to show off, even if it be only in their own eyes. Look at your daily life. Is there a single thought, word, or action untainted by the desire to become somebody? Even if all you seek to become is a spiritual success or a saint unknown to anyone except yourself? The child, like the innocent animal, surrenders to its nature to be and become quite simply what it is. Adults who have preserved their innocence also surrender like the child to the impulse of nature or destiny without a thought to become somebody or to impress others. But unlike the child, they rely not on instinct, but on ceaseless awareness of everything in them and around them. And that awareness shields them from evil and brings about the growth that was intended for them by nature, not designed by their ambitious egos. Here is another way to grown-ups corrupt the innocence of childhood. They teach the child to imitate someone. The moment you make the child a carbon copy, you stamp out the spark of originality with which it came into the world. The moment you choose to become like someone else, however great or holy, you have prostituted your being. That's a very strong word. Think sadly of the divine spark of uniqueness that lies within you, buried under layers of fear. The fear that you will be ridiculed or rejected if you dare to be yourself and refuse to conform mechanically in the way you dress and act and drink. See how you conform not only in your actions and thoughts, but even in your reactions, your emotions, your attitudes, your values. You dare not break out of this prostitution and reclaim your original innocence. This is the price you pay for the password of acceptance by your society or organization. So, you enter the world of the crooked and the controlled and are exiled from the kingdom that belongs to the innocence of childhood. One final subtle way you destroy your innocence is when you compete and compare yourselves with others. When you do that, you exchange your simplicity for the ambition of wanting to be as good as someone else or even better. Think of this. The reason why the child is able to preserve its innocence and life like the rest of creation and bliss of the kingdom is that it has not been sucked into what we call the world, that region of darkness inhabited by grown-ups whose lives are spent not in living but in counting applause and admiration, not in blissfully being themselves, but in neurotically comparing and competing, striving for those empty things called success and fame, even if they can be attained only at the expense of defeating, humiliating, destroying their neighbors. If you allow yourself to really feel the pains of this hell on earth, the utter emptiness it brings, you might experience within you a revolt, a disgust so powerful that it will scatter the chains of dependence and deceit that have been forced around your soul, and you will break loose into the kingdom of innocence where mystics and children dwell. My dear ones, we all are in such places I just spoke out. If we are honest with ourselves, we are in places that even if our heart says we don't want to be there, we're there. We are with our emotions in some places that we don't like to be, but we are. Because some, or we ourselves, are doing things that kills that innocent child. It's very important that child that is still in you to treasure, to bring back what makes you your real self. Maybe you say, well, I'm an adult. Yes, but I'm not saying childlike, childish. It's ridiculous. That's not what I mean. The child in you that gives you that strength, healthy strength, a natural person with having all inside that is needed to be that person, not to want to be someone else, not to have to defeat something. And I know it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy path. But at least we can do some workouts. Find that place in your soul, and you will break loose into the kingdom of innocence, where mystics and children dwell. And you know that that is a place where maybe others will not like it, but it's not their business. And that's the powerful word, the simple word, and ... you move forward. May God bless you and help you in maybe changing your path. Maybe you're on a crossroad where you have to decide to move forward, to go to the left or go to the right. But let your soul be guided by the Spirit. We make mistakes, yes, but we can recover from our mistakes. You are important. You are loved by the divine, the beloved. This is your Pastor Yeti.